Okay, so it looks terrible.
To you.
I'm showing you, I'm being honest.
Okay, in the back.
If it were a photo shoot, you would only see this.
Right.
Okay, but because we're live, because he makes me do this live, we have to show it this way. Okay, now that I've worked with the black fondant, the next step is to put his white body part on. My hands, you can see,
yeah, you got a little...
they have black. Black fondant always leaves black.
Yep.
Oh, and see how the cornstarch isn't on here anymore? It's kind of all rubbed out.
Yeah.
It rubs out really easily.
Yeah.
Okay, so my table, even though I had all that cornstarch, it's going to be black too. So, time to clean again. I have to wash my hands because if I start rolling out white on that, it's going to pick up the black and it's going to be gray.
Excellent.
And so we want to make sure your countertop, once you use black, you switch off or clean it all down before you switch off to white.
And this is actual white fondant as opposed to ivory?
It's actual white fondant.
All right.
Because penguins are white.
Penguins are white.
Okay.
So this is his front.
This is his front.
Penguin front.
Yes.
Because that's how they wear their, you know.
It's their tuxedo.
Their tuxedo.
It's his little tuxedo. All right. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut into the black.
Oh no.
And peel away what I so nicely smoothed.
Yeah, so it went from perfection to now you're going to hack into it.
I'm going to hack into it.
Okay, it's good to know.
You could take this and just cut it out and lay it on top, but you're going to have the edge and I just don't like how that looks. So I'm going to take, and I need to do a couple of things. I have a piece of wax paper because when I cut this, I want to lay it down on my wax paper and trace the shape I've cut. When I cut it out and pull it off, I'm going to try not to stretch it. I'm going to try to keep it pretty much the shape that it is. And I'm going to lay it down on here and trace it so that I have a template to cut my white fondant in so that hopefully I can pick my white fondant up and put it right on top. So penguins have a little widow's peak that goes like this.
Yes, they do.
And then they have the little belly. So I need to look at my penguin and I need to decide where the center is. So I think the center is right about there. You can see I made a little mark.
The center of his...
Center of his little head.
Okay.
It's right about there, right?
Okay.
And so I'm going to come out from there and I'm going to make my little widow's peak. I'm going to come in a little for his neck and then come out for his big belly and come down to the bottom.
Rita says it's a veiner.
It's a veiner.
Thank you, Rita.
I don't do flowers because other people do flowers so much better. So if I need flowers, I have other people do them for me.
Cool.
And so I don't know these tools. So you can see I've kind of indented where I want that to be.
Okay, so you've
I've
just
done one side.
Right.
I'm just drawing it on there.
There we go.
Okay.
Good shot.
Now I'm going to go back and do the other side, kind of trying to keep it somewhat even. And I'm just eyeballing it. If you wanted to, you could draw out a template and put it on there and draw it, but
yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, and all penguins are different.
Exactly.
So
I'm going a little bit slower on this side because I want to make sure as I go, I have to look at him and make sure that he's going to be somewhat even.
And the white piece is pretty darn good size.
Yeah, it's going to be. That's why I have
this.
Because it's going to be
the
whole front,
yeah.
Which is why you have to cover the whole thing and then make sure it's really attached because you don't want this to slide off.
Right.
And I don't do it way up top. I keep it so that this curls over so it's not so top that it's going to slide off this way. All right.
But that's the correct way to do it when you want it to match exactly.
When you want it to be inset, you don't want it sitting on top because their bodies aren't layered.
Yeah.
All right.
Most of the penguins that I know aren't layered.
No, we don't have layered penguins. All right. So there I've done my on one side and the other. See it? Everybody got that? Okay, so now it's time to cut it out. Okay. So I'm going to take it and I'm just going to cut it.
What do you use to cut it?
My scalpel.
Scalpel.
All right, and I'm just going to cut it all the way through.
All the way to the ganache?
All the way into the ganache, yeah.
Okay.
You're cutting it actually all the way into your cake because you want to make sure you cut all the way through the fondant. It cuts a little harder on the Rice Krispie treat. I'm having to push a little harder when I get to the Rice Krispie treat.
You're just following the line you just made.
Yes, which is why I do the line ahead of time because I don't want to have to freehand this and then find out I didn't do it in the right shape that I wanted. grab this and try to kind of pull it out. Now again, it's going to come, a lot of the ganache is going to come out with it. And this is another reason why you don't want to have too soft of a cake, because it'll pull half your cake out with it.
Ah.
And you're going to see it's going to pull a lot of cake. It's going to pull most of the ganache. I'm going to try not to have it do all of it. But this is also because we didn't let the ganache harden.
Oh, I got you.
If our ganache were harder,
yeah,
it would not have...
it wouldn't behave quite
yeah.
so glue-like.
And I have to, I'm sorry, I have to face this towards me because I'm trying to keep it...
Yeah, we got it. You're just basically pulling off that layer and
Yeah, and
as
I'm
little
trying
cake
not
as
to
possible.
and trying not to stretch the fondant too much because I don't want, you can see how much it's pulling off. I don't want to change the shape because I'm using this, I'm going to draw a template from this for my white, so I don't want to change the shape too much. So I'm going to lay it down like
Wow.
that,
Fondant template.
and that's my template. Okay,
Right.
and there's our
Very naked.
very naked.
Now we're looking at the insides of them again.
We are. He's inside again.
Remember that.
Okay.